Good evening and welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. This is a show that is dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So this is my Wednesday night show, my Wednesday night favorites, and I do apologize. It's going to come out late. I almost wasn't going to do it because my headache is returned and going through all this stuff hasn't made it any easier. However, as they say in show business, the show must go on. So before we get started, though, I'll just let you know that Battle of the Bands, which came out late today, will also come out late tomorrow because I don't have the energy to do that tonight and release it in the morning. So I'm happy to do this one because I've wanted to do this one, but I don't think I'll have enough juice left in me to do that one. So I will do it after work tomorrow, so it'll probably be late. Don't have anything really scheduled for tomorrow. I do, but I'm going to move it to Friday. And we'll do this tomorrow night. And then hopefully my headache will be gone and I'll be back on track for Friday when I get the new releases. And unfortunately, this puts a little bit of a strain on Ben because he's the one that comes up with the matches. But I'm sure he already has matches in his mind. He's very organized that way. So anyways, on with the show, as they say. So how this is going to work. This is my 25 favorite progressive rock guitar parts. So that could be a guitar riff. It could be a guitar intro. It might be a piece in the song. Could be a solo. Some part that I really enjoy that comes from the guitar in progressive rock. So that's how we're going to do it. And I've put these in a somewhat of a semblance of order. I mean, the top half, I think, are pretty competitive with each other, where the bottom half are probably just, it really doesn't matter what order you put them in. They're all pretty much the same. But I wanted to give some attention to all of these songs. I didn't make a board today because my head is pounding, but I did make notes. So I'm going to refer to my notes a little bit. I hope that's not distracting for people. It's not attempting. I do have props for almost all of them. Some of them I didn't have the exact album from the piece that I chose. However, I did put another album by the group so I would remember and not forget and put them in order. Okay, so the first one is going to come from Palace. For those of you who know, Palace released an album on one of my favorite, I think it was my 1980s prog theme one that I did, and it's called The Sentinel. The part that I wanted to talk about on that song is from the Rise and Fall Part 1 on the album. It's a guitar riff, and I don't know if it comes at about the 1 minute 10 second part of I think it's 1 minute 10 second. I did write it down. So let me look. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, but around the 1 minute mark of the song. Really catchy riff. I liked it a lot. I don't have an album by Palace, so I made it on a piece of paper so I wouldn't forget. So that's number 25. So number 24 comes from Camel. I do not have this Camel album. I have this Camel album to remind me, but that's not where it's coming from. It's coming from Camel's Mirage album, and the part that I chose for that is called Free Fall. It's the solo. For those of you who have the album, you know exactly the part I'm talking about. Really great, liked it a lot. So that's the part I'm choosing for number 24 today from Camel, from the Mirage, the solo. Okay, so the next one up comes from an album from Ben's Album Challenge, one of the earlier albums that he gave me. I do not own the album. I haven't been able to get it. I've looked online. They still don't have it. But I did have another IQ album, this one, Dark Matter, which is an album I listen to quite a bit. It's on my playlist. I used it as a prop, basically so I wouldn't forget the place. So this is number 23. Yes, 23. And this is from The Wake. And it's a guitar solo just prior to the harpsichord bit on, and I did not write the track. That's odd. Well, maybe I did. Hold it a sec. Nope, I wrote all the information but forgot to write the track that it comes off of. Anyways, it's on that album. Really good guitar solo. It comes right before the harpsichord part on the song, for which I did not write, so I apologize for that. So the next one up comes from, now let me guess to make sure that I got it, because I'm using a prop here. Oh yeah, okay, so it comes from, for those of you who are familiar with this band, it's the A.B., where did I write it now? A.B. Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, and Howe is what it is, from the album of the same title, released in 1990. It's the guitar riff part that goes on throughout the song of Tikwa, I think is the name of the song. That's how I'm pronouncing it. That's what I think it's called. So that's going to come in at number 21. So number 20, let me get rid of my prop here, a reminder, comes from an album that I actually have. And it comes from this album by the Beatles. This is Revolver. And the part that I'm is called Into the Void. I believe that's the name of the track. No, it's not. It's called Tomorrow Never... Yeah, it's called Tomorrow Never Knows. It's the part where they play the guitar backwards. It's always been a part that I really, really like from this. Maybe my favorite Beatles track. Definitely my favorite Beatles guitar part. Yeah, just a really great part from that album. The other thing I forgot to mention here is that I'm only doing one part or one guitar part from each of these bands. Some of these bands could have multiple parts, or I could do like 5 or 6 from certain bands easy, but I don't want to do that. I want to give each of these bands a little part in this. So there's 25 bands, 25 guitar parts. Okay, the next one comes from a band called Marillion. Now, I do not have this album. It's an album I've been looking for. I did have it, and I still may have it in cassette somewhere, but my cassettes are lost in one of these many containers that I own. And I do not know where they are offhand, and I'm not going to go looking for them anyways. So this is a song from a script from The Jester's Tear, which is the album. And I'm just looking for where I wrote it here. Oh yeah, okay, so yeah, the song is He Knows You Know, and it's a guitar solo that comes on in about the middle of the song. Really, it's always been one of my favorite Marillion guitar bits. I still like that song a lot. I still love that album a lot. Still one of my favorite albums, but I only have it in cassette. Eventually I'll get it in CD as well, but at this point in time I don't have it. So that's my prop was this album. I'm showing you the props, but not the albums. Anyways, now we're starting to get into some albums that I do have. So the next part up comes from this album, Voyage of the Acolyte by Steve Hackett. Can anybody see that? I hope. This comes from the last song on the track called Shadow of the Hierophant. And the part that I like, I believe, is the guitar part. The solo part. I'm just looking for it here because I wrote his name here. Yes, it's the... Yeah, it's not the front part, the part towards the end of the song. It's a really neat guitar part that he does on this particular track. I did also like something on here, but I will get to that later. Anyways, really good track, really good cut. Some of these parts at the bottom, I'm not as familiar with their locations on the album because I don't listen to them as much, but I still like them a lot. So the next one, I'm using this as a prop, but the actual song is from John Anderson's Animation album, and it's from the song Olympia. It's the guitar part that opens the song and pretty much repeats itself throughout the song. I've always liked that part, real catchy. I think it's because it's backed very well by the drums. The drums push it up, I guess. I don't know how you want to put it, but they work together very well in concert. So that part comes in now. I don't know what number that was, but I will check. Yeah, that was number 8. So number 8 from the bottom. So number 17 actually is what it is. So Actually, it was number 18. So this will be number 17. I'll try and keep track here. And forgive me if I'm screwing this up a lot tonight. I just have a headache and I didn't have the energy to go through the real stringent organization that I normally like to do with my clipboard. Okay, so the next one up comes from this album, In the Wake of Poseidon. This is a King Crimson album. Really solid album. I love this album. It's currently the longest running album on my playlist. I think it's going to be coming up to 8 months or 9 months now, I think, that I've had it on there. And I'm just looking for the writing part that I did on it, which I am... oh, my notes are terrible tonight. I don't see it. Where the hell is it? Are you kidding me? Am I blind? Yeah, I am blind, so maybe I should put these on. Sometimes I forget that I'm blind. I know nobody else has that problem. Oh yeah, okay. I didn't see it because I made a mistake at the front. You couldn't see the King word. Yeah, there's actually 2 bits, but the one that I chose was from the Cadets and Cascade. It's a guitar bit at the beginning of the song, kind of an intro, like an acoustic bit. It's funny, you know, all those Robert Fripp solos and the heavy stuff, and I pick a guitar, an acoustic bit. Kind of strange. Yeah, that's me. Kind of strange. So that was number 17. Number 16 comes from this album, Songs from the Wood. I don't really need to know this. I'm starting to get my memories coming now for the rest of these. Songs from the Wood. This is from Hunting Girl, the song Hunting Girl. Awesome guitar riff in this on this particular song. Maybe one of my favorite guitar riffs for a progressive song. And I don't even know if this is really all that progressive, but it has a lot of progressive elements on it, this album, and this particular song I like a lot. Hunting Girl, the guitar riff on it, coming in at number 16. Number 15, from this album, The Grand Illusion by Styx, comes from the song Castle Walls. It's that real melodic guitar bit that goes on throughout that particular track. I just think maybe one of the biggest prog, I'm trying to think of how to say this, one of the most consistently progressive songs of any of the Styx' songs, at least on the albums that are easily attainable. There are some on the Wooden Nickel, there are some really good progressive stuff on the Wooden Nickel albums, but they're difficult to find and difficult to get. So for the one that I chose is one of the most familiar songs to me, Castle Walls, and it's that melodic kind of whiny type of guitar that goes on throughout the length of the song. Fantastic, love it. So that was number 15, I believe we're at. Yeah, that was number 15. So the next one up comes from this album, Colors, from Eloy. Eloy has a lot of more keyboard dominated stuff, but there was one guitar part that I really liked a lot on this particular album. Let me get my glasses on. It's on Silhouettes. Yep, Silhouettes, although it's not in the same order as you get it on when you're listening to it online, which kind of throws you off. It's the guitar solo in that song from Silhouettes. Real tastefully done, really great. Not as common with Eloy, their big guitar solo, but on this track, really good. So that's number 15, number 14, sorry. Yeah, number 13 comes from this album, well-known album, of course, Alan Parsons Project. This is, what's the name of this album anyways? I never know the name of this album. I know it, but I never remember it. Oh yeah, I don't know the name, because it's only on the cover. Eye for an Eye. It's the serious part, and it's the guitar bit. This is pretty well-known song. Chicago Bulls use this on their show when they have their show. Anyways, it's their theme song, I guess. Really great track. Okay, so that's your first 13. So now we're into the top 12. I'm just going to make sure I put these back here so that when I reiterate them, I'll know where they are. Okay, so Coming in at number 12. Now we're getting into some stuff that I really like a lot. This one could go a little bit higher, but for today, it's going to come in here at number 12. We're talking about Tab in the Ocean. The part I chose is from King of Twilight, and I think it's the Rift. I'd be surprised if it isn't. I could have wrote something else, but I didn't. Yeah, it's the heavy riff that opens this song. This is for those of you who don't know, this is a progressive rock album, but it is heavy. And the particular track that I like the riff from has also been covered by Iron Maiden, for any of you who are interested in knowing that's where it came from, is this album. Okay, next up, we're going to put these here so I don't screw them up. This is not normally a progressive rock band, at least I don't think of them as a progressive rock band. They do have this particular track, which I think is very progressive. And of course, we're going to be talking about Child in Time. This is Deep Purple in rock, Child in Time. And do I need to say what part here that I like from that song? That's guitar bit. Do I need to? Really? The solo by Ritchie Blackmore, off the charts. Just so killer. Maybe one of his best solos of all time. Coming in at number 11. So, number 10. Now we're in the top 10. Is from this album, Peter Gabriel 3, from without a doubt my favorite track by him, Games Without Frontiers, is that little kind of guitar bit that opens it up and continues throughout the song. It's so catchy and so memorable. Such a wonderful riff, or if you want to call it a hook, I'd call it a hook too. So fantastic. So from Peter Gabriel 3, that's number 10. Number 9. From one of my favorite albums, and one of the longest running albums in my playlist too. And you've never quite, okay. Gentle Giants, Acquiring the Taste, and the part that I chose, I want to make sure I don't give you the wrong one, because there's two of them that I had, and I wasn't sure which one I was going to pick right up till the last minute. Okay, yeah, I did. I chose the guitar bit, or if you want, the opening bit on The Wreck, which is really catchy. I really like that a lot. The other part is a little bit different, and I didn't want to give you the wrong one and then forget that I gave it to you later. So number 9. So number 8 comes from a band that we all know well, Kansas Leftoverture. And do I need to tell you which part I'm going to pick here? Yes, of course. Carry On, My Wayward Son, the opening guitar riff. It's just fantastic. It's one of the most notorious riffs in rock, I think, and definitely the big one for those guys. So that's number 8. Number 7, Hawkwinds, Hall of the Mountain Grill, the opening track on the opening song, which I do not remember the name of. Oh yeah, the Psychedelic Warrior, The Warlords Disappear into Smoke. The guitar riff that opens this song is so memorable. I'll sometimes be at work and that riff will be going through my head all day long, and I just can't get it out of my head. Such a good riff. Okay, the next one up comes from a band that, yeah, they have some psychedelic elements, they have some rock elements, they have some heavy metal elements. They also have some progressive rock. I think this one falls into the progressive rock element. And we're talking about Blue Oyster Cult's Astronomy. The guitar riff in here is fantastic. Just so good. That song brings tears to my eyes. This album is just so good, man. It's just fantastic. But that riff is just great. And that comes in at number 6. Okay. Getting into the last 5 now. Top 5. These were hard to differentiate, but I think this one comes in at 5 based on the fact that it's still relatively new to the collection here. There was 2 on this that I really like. I'll make sure I give you the right one. The one that I chose, because there was 2. I think it's the first one. I just want to make sure. Damn. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, okay. From this album, In the Hearing of Atomic Rooster, the song is called, I should just use my glasses where I can see instead of driving myself mental. The song is called Break the Ice. Is it? Oh yeah, it is the Break the Ice song. So Break the Ice is the guitar riff at the beginning. So catchy. The other one, of course, is almost as catchy, but I like that one just a little bit more. So that is number 5. Now we're getting the top 4. Number 4, yep, Genesis Trespass. Do I need to go any further here? Yes, I do. I gotta tell you that it's from the Knife. It's definitely the guitar solo from the Knife. Some people say that the live version of this, done by Steve Hackett, is better. I'm not going to argue with him about it, but the original version still appeals to me a lot, and so I'm going to give Anthony Phillips the kudos here for coming up with it. And the Knife is the guitar part that I like by this particular. It's my favorite. I know, Steve Hackett is loaded up with songs from Genesis. There's no doubt about it. Okay, so next up comes from a band who has got my favorite guitar player. He's been my favorite guitar player for a very long time. He has so many good solos and so many good riffs, but for some reason lately this riff is the one that I like the best. From Drama, from Tempest Fugit, is that screeching guitar part that he does in conjunction with Chris Squire's bass part. Just so memorable. Such a good riff. Long been my favorite track on this album. Love it. Okay, now top 2. Easily the top 2, I believe. There wasn't really a big challenge here, but it was just the only thing was to decide which one should go first, and I decided to go with this one first. So from Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, yes, it's the solo from Time. It's got to be one of the most iconic guitar solos in rock history. Definitely one of the most iconic progressive rock solos ever. It's just such a memorable song. It's to me, it's the guitar solo that people think of when they think of guitar solos by Pink Floyd. And the guy's so good. He's got so many good ones too, and this is just, to me, this is just the pinnacle of it. So Dark Side of the Moon's solo, yeah, great. So number 1 was the first album I ever listened to by the group. Not the first song. I had a couple songs I listened to them from before, but this was the first album I listened to, and the opening track has long been one of my favorite. He has such a tremendous guitar solo here, and the riff is almost as good. Talking about Fly By Night's anthem. Alex Lifeson, to me, he's the king of riffers. Such a good guitar player, so many great riffs, but I chose a guitar solo off of him, which is unusual. I did the same with Robert Fripp. He's got a million guitar solos, and I chose a acoustic bit. So, some people are a little different, and I'm definitely qualify as that. So anyways, that's it. Rush's Fly By Night is going to be the top riff. So I'm going to try and do this in reverse order. I hope I don't screw it up. My memory's not so good, and I'm really not really well today. So anyways, we'll try again. So we'll go. So number 1, Fly By Night anthem guitar solo. Number 2, Pink Floyd's Time, Dark Side of the Moon, Time guitar solo. From Yes's Drama, guitar riff part from Tempest Fugit. Number 4, Genesis Trespass, and this is from the Knife, and it's the guitar solo by Anthony Phillips. Number 5, Atomic Roosters in the Hearing Of, and this is Break the Ice guitar solo. Guitar riff, sorry. Blue Oyster Cult's Secret Treaties, Astronomy, guitar solo. Hawkwind in the Hall of the Mountain Grill from their opening track, which is, I guess maybe I should do this, makes it easier. The Psychedelic Warrior, Disappearing in Smoke. It's the opening guitar riff that is so catchy. Next up we have Kansas's Left Overture. The song, of course, is Carry On My Wayward Son, guitar riff. Absolutely. Next up, what number was that? That was number 8, right? Number 8. Number 9, which is Gentle Giants, Acquiring the Taste, from the song Wreck, the opening part. Peter Gabriel 3 from the song Games Without Frontiers. It's the opening kind of part that plays out throughout the song. And that's number 10. Number 11, Deep Purple's In Rock, from Child of Time, guitar solo by Ritchie Blackmore, number 11. And at number 12, Nectar's Tab in the Ocean from King of Twilight. It's the opening. Is it the opening guitar riff? I think it's the opening guitar riff. I always want to say it is, but I don't think it is actually. Yeah, it is the opening guitar riff. For some reason I thought it was the solo, but it isn't. Okay, so next up, well, these ones will be much more difficult because my memory is starting to fade here. So we'll go with the next one, Alan Parsons Project. This is Eye in the Sky, and the song is Serious. It's a guitar solo on this. Or the guitar bit, I guess is what it should be. Then you've got Eloy. Colors from Silhouettes, guitar solo. That's number 14. Number 15. From Styx's Grand Illusion. It's the song Castle Walls, and it's the melodic, slow guitar part. Kind of reminiscent of some Floyd here, I think. Number 16 from Jethro Tull's Songs from the Wood. It's Hunting Girl, guitar solo, or guitar riff, I guess. In the Wake of Poseidon is number 17 from King Crimson, and it's the opening guitar bit on Cadets and Cascade. There was another one on there too, that's why I keep trying to remember what it is. Number 17 came from John Anderson's Animation, and it's the opening song, which is Olympia. It's the guitar opening that kind of permeates most of the song. And that was number 18. Number 19, Voyage of the Acolyte by Steve Hackett, from the last track on the album, Hero Fat, and it's the guitar part, guitar solo at towards the middle end of the song. The next one is from Marillion's Script for a Jester's Tear. It's He Knows You Know. It's the guitar solo at the end, or towards the middle of the end of the album, and that would be number 20. So we're down to the last 5 now. From Revolver by the Beatles, Tomorrow Never Knows. It's the backwards guitar playing that takes place about halfway into the song. Fantastic, love it. Number 21 from Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, and Howe, the song Petit Bois. It's the guitar part that picks its way through the song, and just so good. I love it. And then we're down to the final 3. So number 23, actually, from IQ. It's the Wake album. I don't have it in front of me, so I got to go to the paper for that one. And I did write it. It's the guitar solo just before the harpsichord, and I don't remember the song because I screwed up. And then from Camel's Mirage album, you have the song called Free Fall. There's a guitar solo in it. If you've got the album, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's just really good. And then the last one comes from Palace's, what was the name of that album again? I got it here and I didn't write the album. I guess I did not. That's weird that I didn't write it. Wrote everything else about it. Oh, it's it's a Sentinel. I did write it. It's just that it's on the line above it. So from Palace, number 25, the Sentinel, and it's from the guitar part. It's the guitar riff on the Rise and Fall part 1, and it's about a minute or so into the song. Just really good, really tasteful. I could give you some honorable mentions. Maybe I will mention a few of them. Quite a few from Rush. Rush has a ton. The intro part to Xanadu, not right after the synthesizer, that build up, that was almost my choice, but I chose the anthem one. And then you have also La Villa Strangiato, the guitar part on that, so memorable. The solo, fantastic. Bastille Day, the riff from Bastille Day, the riff from Passage to Bangkok, the opening part of Overture from 2112. I could go on and on. The guitar bit from Spirit of Radio, just so many of them. Yes, the solo from Sound Chaser, fantastic. The guitar riff or part that they play in Yours Is No Disgrace, just so many tracks from them too. The opening acoustic guitar bit with the harmonics on Roundabout, it just goes on and on for Yes. Turn of the Century, the classical bit that permeates most of the song, fantastic. Genesis, of course, I gotta mention Blood on the Rooftops, the guitar bit and that. Opening bit from the musical box, so good. Guitar solo from the first to fifth, and there's so many others I could go on. There was one other band that I did Pink Floyd's. You've got Run Like Hell, the riff from that. You've got the guitar riff in Pigs, fantastic, from Animals. You've got the guitar reverb or sound that you get on, or solo I guess is what it is, on Echoes. It just goes on and on. And then the other King Crimson part was from the theme. It was the same type of thing. It was an acoustic bit. And I'm thinking to myself, all these great guitar bits by Robert Fripp, and you got to pick the two acoustic bits. Yeah, something not quite right about me. And the other one was from Nectar, was a heavy guitar riff that begins, I did that part. The heavy guitar riff bit that begins Desolation or Valley from the same album, Tab in the Ocean, another really great one. Heavy guitar picking bit that begins the in the Glass House, it's called Walk of Life, I think that's what it is. Way of Life, sorry. The opening track to the In the Glass House by Gentle Giant, I love that part really a lot too, it's really good. The other Head in the Sky from the Atomic Rooster, In the Hearing Of, the guitar riff on that, so good as well. I could just go on and list endless amount of stuff, and if I didn't have such a headache, I probably would. And I do apologize if this is kind of seems a little scattered and unusual for the way I normally do stuff, but I just didn't have the energy to go on with it too far. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like and subscribe. And just remember, keep in mind that the Battle of the Bands will not come out in the morning, it will come out in the evening tomorrow. Give me a chance to maybe get over my headache and do a proper job of it. So I hope you have a good night, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.